Welcome to Cluecast. This is Luke Carr 17 and
Nemesis back here with another Cluecast for you guys.
we are glad to have you, and we are so pumped to be back for number 2. We hope you guys got a chance to listen to Cluecast 1 last week, where we kind of explained who we were. It was called The Beginning. If you didn't get a chance, you can check it out on our YouTube channel by searching Clueless Gamers, or you can find us on SoundCloud by looking up Clueless Gamers. So, Travis, we have a big week of gaming that just happened, and we have a big topic tonight, basically. Destiny. But before we get started, let me ask you this: what games have you been playing this week?
I've been all over the place this week because I've been jonesing for a racing game, which I didn't pull the trigger on just yet, but I pulled the trigger on all kind of noobs in Black Ops 3, Battlefield 4, and some Destiny.
Awesome. Well, I played a whole lot of FIFA. So I got FIFA 16 for my Xbox One, and man, have I played a lot. I started a manager mode with the crew. I played that about every day this week, and then I played some Black Ops with you. That was fun. We played Black Ops for 4 or 5 matches the other night, and then I played Battlefield 4 waiting. I was going to play with you, but yours didn't download in time, so then I just played FIFA while you played it right after it finished. Yeah. And then I played Star Wars Battlefront. So I played a lot of games this week compared to last week. Not for long periods, but little spurts of gaming came in there. So it was a fun week of gaming for me. But to let everybody know, we're talking about something that's really sincere to us tonight, and that is Destiny. One of the biggest games out right now, some could argue. It came out, in 2014, which is pretty crazy because it's, 2016 now, and we're still jonesing on this one game. And I don't know if everyone's jonesing, but we have a lot to talk about with it tonight.
Sure do.
So to get started, we're going to explain to you our history of Destiny, where we come from, so that you guys kind of understand where we are at that point. We're not going to do it again after that in later episodes, but since we're just starting, we might as well let you know. So I'll let you start, Travis, because, you're beautiful.
I'm beautiful. Luke's got jokes, everybody. For me, Destiny started way back in 2013, when you would first begin to see all kind of media outlets and gaming news sites and, conventions like E3 or things like that, where Destiny started making itself known to the world. And I've been following, and basically I've been a marketer's dream because I ate up every piece of, media or content that they'd leak out. And, it's been a long one for me as a day one, year one player. I've been playing since the very start, all the way back from the beta. Well, technically,
alpha. You played the alpha.
I don't think I did play the alpha.
Played that. I played the alpha with you because I played the alpha, skipped the beta.
Wow, I had a ton of fun on the beta. That's all I know. And everybody was just talking about how Destiny's going to be so much bigger than just the beta. The beta is 10% of the game, and debatable.
Debatable. Really debatable.
But yeah, it's been that way. I experienced the G horn and the Thorn days, and I've experienced the no gun to get excited about days of today.
Exactly, yeah. Well, that's the history of Travis. He's done it all in there. I mean, he lived in the Forever 29 days.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I was so pumped up and eager to just eat up every piece of content that I could get out from the media and Bungie was because that was right in the smack dab of Ghosts, I believe, as when all that stuff started coming out. And the fatigue of Call of Duty was starting to wear in on me. Because up to that point, I basically exclusively played Call of Duty, and I didn't even play other video games for the most part to enjoy. It was all about, from Modern Warfare 2 all the way up through Black Ops 2. I just grinded Call of Duty year in, year out, and I was ready for Destiny, and I was ready for it to be the hype everybody was making it out to be.
Yeah, and it definitely may have not done as well as we would have wanted, but I'll explain to you where I come from. So I never heard of Destiny in 2013. I didn't know a lot about it. I mean, I watched the E3 videos because I always was watching the videos. I always watch video game media within the media outlets. And Travis and I went to college together, so we talked about video games a lot and this and that. But, 2013, I didn't even know Travis yet, so we didn't even have we weren't talking about it at that point. So Destiny it's getting closer. I'm seeing all these cool commercials with the music. Like, it looked like in the commercials, they made it act
Hang on a second. Just to stop and let everybody know. This kid knew me in 2013. He'd be up in my room watching me snipe kids on Ghosts.
Was that 2013? Oh,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I knew.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm pretty
everyone.
sure. I might have my years mixed up here, but
No,
I'm
we've been friends for 3 years. Facebook said that to me, and that's my terrible friend moment. Terrible friend moment right there. Oh gosh. Well, I take back everything I just said. And oh well. Anyways, it's getting close to Destiny coming out. Me and Travis are living in a townhouse together, and I'm seeing these commercials, and Bungie's like basically making it look like, in those commercials, Travis, they're like, play this music, and they turn this sweet song on, and those dudes are like running down and killing the hive, and it's like, oh nice, I can just listen to any music I want during it and have a good time. It's gonna be integrated in the game. Who knows, this could be cool. But I wasn't interested until the day that Destiny was about to be released, and Travis is like, I'm gonna go get it tonight, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get it too. So we go to Taco Bell, and I'm still kind of debating it, and then I go ahead and I order 10 DLTs, fiery Doritos Locos Tacos, and that pretty much pushed me past my limit. Yeah, and I was like, I'm just gonna go buy it. So we went and got it at midnight, and then came home. We played through a little bit of the, whatever, the story, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. And then I only played it for, maybe a week, and then I brought it back and got Shadow of Mordor, which I told you guys about last week on Cluecast 1. But I kind of took a long break, probably like 6 months. Would you say maybe 9 months, Travis?
Yeah, it was close. I mean, year one for the most part was almost finished up by the time you got Destiny, and I'm pretty sure actually the House of Wolves was already out whenever you picked it up.
Yeah, all the DLC was out, and the DLC was on sale whenever I purchased this. So I got it, and then I bought the DLC, and I fell in love. I learned what the grind was.
He realized he missed the boat. He missed why everybody, he missed why while everyone was playing Advanced Warfare or the new titles that came out in 2015, why was Travis still playing Destiny?
And I never understood. I'd be waking up to go to class. I walk outside, and I'm like, one of our roommates, Brian's in there. I'm like, what's Travis doing? Playing Destiny again. I'm like, why is he always playing that? It looks stupid. Like, I played that. It wasn't any fun. And I look at that. I miss like the golden days of Destiny.
Literally the golden days, man. I'm telling you.
But I've had a great time. I've kind of made my way back into it. I've gotten all the guns you've got. We've done the raids. We've done the Nightfalls. I'm just a regular player now. And I play the Nightfalls each week as much as I can. I don't raid as much anymore, but that's a whole different story. So that's kind of like our history. We both love the game, but we also have a lot of problems with the game. But that's part of the reason that we're doing this, because we want to talk about what is wrong so that someone maybe will fix it. So let's get into this first topic of the issues that have plagued Destiny recently, and a lot of the things that weren't problems 5 months ago. Things that are huge issues now that are driving people nuts, that are driving us nuts, that we gotta talk about. So let's start with Nightfalls. The Nightfalls used to be like the premier exotics that you wanted to get. You would do the Nightfall because it was hard, and if you died in the Nightfall, if everyone died, it put you right to orbit. Like, it was like vicious. There was no mercy with the Nightfall. Like, you screw up, you're going straight to orbit. And people will do it to get that Galahorn, to get good gear. Now we're doing these Nightfalls with these ridiculous modifiers on them, taking us like 35 minutes to do, and what are we getting? We're getting like 290 ghosts. Kidding me?
Agreed, totally.
Like, let's talk about this week's Nightfall. This might be outdated the way we're talking about it, but this specific week that we're talking, the Nightfall is the Sunless Cell, and there's a lot of doors in the Sunless Cell. Well, during this week's Nightfall, and we're in year 2 of Destiny.
Yeah, this is really initial though. What I feel like I know what you're about to say, but it was pretty initial in the weekly reset.
Yeah, this is we're 2 years into this game, and there's a door that some players have found. We didn't have this happen, but there's a door that some players have found that just wouldn't open. They couldn't finish the Nightfall. They couldn't get to the end of the Nightfall because a door wouldn't open.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And it was so funny too to get on the Destiny Reddit, the forums, or even Bungie laughably tweeting out, we know people are currently experiencing issues with the Nightfall. Please stand by. Like, I think that's literally what they said in their tweet, and people just tweeting back at them, "Hey, yo, Bungie, can we get some ghosts to unlock this door?" I almost lost it. It was a fun time, but I realize developers make mistakes and things like that, but Nightfall rewards, that's something that could be easily fixed. And
yeah.
I don't know how many times we've heard we're fixing it, we're buffing it, you're going to get better stuff, and we literally get ghosts. And one of my Nightfall rewards this week was a freaking Sparrow Racing League pack thing. Sparrow Racing League is not even a thing right now. Why is that relevant? Why am I getting that in the Nightfall? It's just mind-blowing, and it's kind of upsetting, to be honest.
I 100% agree. It's like the Nightfall is supposed to be that thing that for those gamers during the week that don't have tons of time to play. Like, I can't play Destiny as much as I usually do, but I want to get a good reward. So I'm trying to get to 320. Can't even get anything above 320 in there. And I'm not saying that there should have always been something where you get 320 gear, but at this point of end game content, at this point of the Taken King, because we've already went through the Taken King, we're at the end of it, we're at the end of the cycle of it. Why can't there be 320 gear in there? And why can't it be, you're only going to get 300 something and plus, as a reward, rather than like having the opportunity. Like, I got a Vertigo, one of those Future War Call Vertigo rocket launchers. It was 283. I mean, it's a waste of time when you're 315.
It is frustrating, and all that makes you do and forces you to do is, if you got a rolled gun that is something you wanted to keep, or a rolled piece of armor for whatever reason, maybe it had a high intellect or high, discipline or something like that, it just makes you burn your resources and grind that much more to, get the infusion fuel to get that thing where it needs to be for you to even make it on the forums in anything.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So Nightfalls, it'd be great if they'd be fixed. At the same time, it's a video game, and we understand we sometimes take it out of context. Like, we're supposed to be just having fun. They think of it as you're hanging out with your friends online, playing a Nightfall, killing stuff. It's a good time, but it's not always that way. Like, my time's valuable when I play games like this, where it's gear based. Like, you want to get the gear to be the best, and you want to have that and say you have that. But when you're wasting your time, it's like a waste of time whenever stuff is just lackluster.
And it shouldn't feel that way.
Exactly, it shouldn't feel that way.
The Nightfall is, or I thought it was, a means for, casual Destiny players that maybe don't have enough friends to enter a raid. Just, that's a way for them to get content that is, worth it, to be truthful. Incentive is one of the biggest reasons that kept me coming back to the Nightfalls 3 times a week, every single week in year 1. And I literally don't feel the need or the want or the incentive to come back and do that in year 2.
Same. We'll do one Nightfall, if that, a week, just in case. Like, I'll maybe, fingers crossed, get a 310 Jade Rabbit. You know what I mean? Like, that's, and most likely my chances are I won't. I'll get like a random ghost or a sparrow.
Yep. Or ghost seems to be popular.
3 of coins. Yeah, ghosts. I've gotten so many ghosts out of it. So so Nightfalls. That's enough about Nightfalls. A couple more issues that we can speak about are the latency issues, the bugginess within the Crucible that's been happening the last few days, and the Iron Banner in general. You want to lead off
or
with that?
how about latency in Iron Banner? Period.
Oh gosh.
I think many people on the interwebs today would argue that the last Iron Banner that we played through was the most laggy Iron Banner that we've ever gone through as a community. I had taken a break from Destiny. I hadn't played the PvP in a long time, so I was a little lost as to what the current meta was. upon watching a couple YouTube videos and checking up on the forums, I quickly found out that it was basically the last word and Mida multi-tool, is that's what everybody was using for primaries. So I played all of year one with the last word because that was my preferred hand cannon between Thorn, Hawk Moon, and the last word. But that's because I didn't have a Hawk Moon.
Bad story.
But anyway, having that in mind, I decided to take the Mida multi-tool in because it's something I didn't really use that much. I've never used it before, and I wanted some variety, to be truthful.
And that's a fun thing to have in Destiny, and you can have that. You know, that's something that can happen in this game. It's a positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And to my surprise, though, I get in, and I pop off like 6 or 7 headshots on a guy on a B flag or something, and the damage is not even registering. I watched guys on YouTube get like 4-hit headshots and kill people with the Mida multi-tool, and it was taking 6 shots just to register any damage whatsoever. That was basically my entire rank 5 experience with that last Iron Banner. Just maddening lag.
Yep. It was happening the same to me. If 1 or 2 people were red barring, it's like, well, good luck, because you're gonna. I mean, for me, it didn't hit me as hard for the first like 3 levels. Say, let's say 1 through 3. I didn't hit that issue at all. But whenever I got closer to 5, not saying that it was this for any reason, that it was because I was closer to 5. I was getting in lobbies with people that were just, you know, red barring, or connections were messed up or something, or latency was just not on par, and I was shooting them, you know, hitting them. It's not registering. They'd kill me, but luckily it would register after that, and I'd get the kill, but I still got killed where I wouldn't have if it
but
nobody
should have to see a post-mortem medal.
Exactly.
Because, you know, hit markers weren't registering, or the hit detection wasn't happening, or it wasn't. I don't know the technicalities of how everything works, but I just know that when I get the drop on somebody and I put 6 shots into their face, there's no reason they should be able to turn on me and kill me and then not have any damage register whatsoever.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
It was incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, I think in Destiny 2, if that's what Destiny is going to do, if they're going to do a Destiny 2, if they're just going to continue to do these updates, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But in order to make this better, man, they're going to have to do something. Like, what do you want them to do to make Iron Banner better, Crucible better in general?
Well, like I said, I don't know the technicalities of, you know, how from the developer side what they need to do to fix the lag, but something needs to be done to fix the lag. I've speculated before that they are making their connections or the matchmaking system off of skill, and if that is the case, they need to get that out of here. They need to start throwing in custom matches like everybody wants.
Yep.
It'd be so simple to do that. Give everybody custom matches, put in a ranked playlist where if people want to sweat, they can go sweat, and people that want to just have a good, enjoyable experience with the game can do that and experience a fine connection in regular public matches. That's how I think it should be done. But, I mean, expanding on Iron Banner, how about instead of saying we're buffing the rewards and the drop rates, and we're also throwing you PSN exclusive content, how about you actually buff it? Because I played through almost 2 characters all the way up through rank 5, and I just didn't have the heart to do it anymore because I was getting nothing. To be honest, I got next to nothing.
Yeah, so this was my first full Iron Banner. I'd never actually done it. I tried. I got to like level 2 once, and I just gave up. So this one I wanted to grind through, see what I could do. I ended up getting 2 helmets. I got 2 primary weapons, and I got a pair of boots, and I got 1 chest piece. Well, all of my things except for 2 were under 300. I got the hand cannon. I got like a 314 hand cannon, and then I got a 310 ghost out of the final 5 package that you get, and then I got a 305 helmet. And that's from like 50 matches, and that's a lot of time, honestly. Like, Control's not like a quick game unless you're destroying them, and that doesn't typically happen.
Which is why many people preferred Clash, because
I enjoyed
super
Clash.
fast, and if you got match made with teammates that were not the best, you could just hurry up and get to the next one.
Mm-hmm. So I think overall it needs a change. It needs an overhaul. A lot of the stuff does. In general, we just talked about a lot of the issues. I mean, we love Destiny. We just know that there are some things that are happening that it's not good. So that leads to this, Travis. Is Bungie in trouble? We need to talk about this. I mean, is Bungie as a company in trouble? Is Destiny in trouble? Like, what's happening? Like, what's going to happen?
Well, first, how about this? How about we give our short answers?
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes, they are in trouble. And it's not going to be for reasons that are, often talked about on Twitter or the forums or any other platform where people wanted to talk Destiny, because the majority of people that are still playing Destiny are quite passionate about it, including myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, in short, I'm going to say yes, and I'll tell you why. What do you think?
I don't think that Bungie is in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go the opposite of you. I think that this game's still early. People that are listening should know this. I mean, Destiny is a 10-year life cycle, and this is just the beginning. This is just a rough patch. This is the beginning of the year. Who knows what they're about to unleash? This could be the best year ever for Destiny. This could be the best year ever for Bungie. This is just a small point, and I have a lot. I have some bad feelings towards them right now, but at the same time, I love the community, and I love what they do as a company for us. So I don't think they're in trouble, but I do agree with some points that come with what you were saying before. So,
all right,
looks like we got an argument.
So do you want to talk about it? You want to argue about it, or you just want to fight?
I want to fight.
I'm just kidding.
I want to drive.
We don't fight each other.
I want to drive.
But this kind of goes back on what I said last week during Cluecast 1. We're going to disagree, and I think our different experiences are contributing factors as to why we have our difference of opinions, especially when it comes to Destiny, because I literally played all through year one. I took like a month break for the release of Advanced Warfare, and other than that, I was grinding raids. I was trying to hit max level. I was taking care of business on Destiny, and Luke wasn't. Destiny is still in many ways frustrating, but still new to Luke, although he has experienced everything and has most of the gear that he would like to have.
That's the truth. I have the things that I need. I mean, there's the frustrations of, the small things, the issues, the things I talked about earlier, and I understand where you're coming from because you lived through year one. You've been playing this for a whole 9 months more than me, and you've put a lot more hours in it than me. But I'm looking at it from a perspective of I have a lot of hope for people, and I have a lot of, I don't have a ton of expectations for these companies, but I also think about if I was in their shoes, if I was working for Bungie, and if I had thousands of people just like us, not complaining, but trying to make a game better because we love it. Like, that's the reason we're doing this. We're complaining about this game so that we can make it better because we love it. We want the game to be more fun. So I see it from their perspective of, as a game developer, it can't be that easy to just make this game and saying, like, every second they've got somebody saying, hey, we want this gun to be this much better. We want this gun to be this much smaller. And then they get too much into it.
I agree.
And then they listen to us, but sometimes I think that they listen to us too much. Like, sometimes they are the creative people. They are intelligent. They have a job at Bungie for a reason. They are game developers for a reason. They, at some point, can just be like, all right, community, you're doing all right, but let me go ahead and do it this way. And that's why I think that they're not in trouble, because I think they have stuff under their sleeves that it's going to come out, and we're just going to be like, oh, man, that's why they're Bungie. I mean, so.
Yeah, I could see that. And in some points there, I do agree with what you're saying. But like I said, having played through year one, right out of the gate, I expected so much more out of Destiny. And I would say that the majority of the community also expected more out of Destiny. Initial experiences included, a pathetic story. It also included counterintuitivity, if that's a word, if you will, people didn't know what was going on. When you hit level 20, you thought the game was over.
I did, yeah. That's why I got rid of it. I was like, oh, it's over. I beat
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
Why is that guy level 21? I don't get it.
But this is all things that we know. This has all been talked about before on the internet. But what I'm trying to get at is, although all these problems and all these things happened in year one, I can honestly say that earlier in this podcast, we referred to year one as the golden days. It was ridiculously fun. At the end of the day, I couldn't explain to anyone why am I coming back to play Destiny? Why am I playing, 1 to 3 hours a day?
Mm-hmm.
That was inexplicable. And now I'm not. I don't look forward to it. There's little to no incentive. And I just feel that my experience with year one contributes to my negativity towards year two. Because although I did have a lot of beefs with Bungie and Destiny in year one, it was insanely fun. But what I'm worried about and why I say Bungie is in trouble with this is because for a franchise to grow and for a franchise to continue, with their life cycle, they need to bring in new people. And not only do they have that challenge, but they have the challenge of bringing back veterans like myself. And with the negative stigma that's kind of circling Bungie and Destiny right now, I feel like new players are being deterred by veterans and people that are sick of Destiny in its current state. And that worries me quite a lot. What also worries me is in year one, I could get on the forums and I could be in a Vault of Glass raid within 5 minutes. But there are people that bought Destiny for Christmas and have never experienced the Vault of Glass. They never experienced the guns that dropped from the Vault of Glass in their prime. It's literally worthless for somebody that just got Destiny to get a Fatebringer. They'll never know what it was like to beat the Templar on hard and get a Fatebringer to drop. They never know. I actually saw on Twitter, what makes the Fatebringer so good? Well, in short, in today, there's absolutely nothing. There's no purpose. There's nothing there. It's ridiculous. I just feel like things need updated. They have some of the best content out there, and we're limited to one raid. And I just think things need to be turned around to make the experience enjoyable for the new players. Because right now, that's basically, in my opinion, what you see on the forums. You got the veterans who are hardcore, and you got the noobs.
I agree 100%. That's what's on there. But if you think of it from this standpoint, they're making a video game that's supposed to last 10 years. If we keep going back to the golden days of year one, then it's going to only make them go backwards in their cycle. And that's why I said earlier they need to not listen to us as much, because we say we want the old exotics. One of their updates, they bring back a ton of year two exotics. And as cool as that is and how nostalgic it is, why not just make the game better and new and create things that are just better than the Fatebringer in year two, in year three, and instead of making year one consistently go back because it was so good. It's kind of like, and here's
the problem.
I'm mad at my.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
I know. I'm just saying I'm mad at myself for saying some of these things because I also understand the other point of view. But think of it like a Call of Duty game. Each Call of Duty comes out as different. You can't bring the FAMAS from Modern Warfare 2 in the Black Ops 3.
But here's the thing. I bought Modern Warfare 2. I bought the FAMAS. In Black Ops 3, I didn't expect there to be a FAMAS. But here's where this is shady as a company to their consumers. They are packaging and selling the same content that they sold to us in year one, and it's literally never going to be enjoyed by those people who just bought that.
Yeah, and that's why I say I'm mad at myself at the same time as saying that, because I think the thing I just said I'm 100% for, but I'm also in understanding that this is different than Call of Duty. This is different than any other game that's came out. If this is a game that continuously expands off itself, and I think it's like an experiment for them, and they're just at a bad point of that experiment, and some of their decisions have been the wrong decisions. Like the year one content, that should still be an entire separate game. Like with the DLC, like I think the Taken King's great, but I think what they should have done was ended it with the DLC, like ended it with House of Wolves, made House of Wolves better, let that last 2 years, make one game last 2 years, 100% great. Destiny 2 comes out, you can still use your character, but if you ever really, really wanted to go back to the game that you purchased in year one, you play that game. And it still has the favorite. It still has the 2 raids. And then the next game has the Taken King as the main story. Make that 6 times as long, more deep, and everything new to it. And then it would be kind of like games are now. But instead, it's supposed to be this 10-year process that we have to try and understand. We have to try and love. We have to try and think of it as a game where a gun that we loved 2 months ago is irrelevant now because it's been, nerfed so bad. Like that's something that just people, it's hard for me to understand, but it's hard for me not to understand. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a really hard and weird topic to get into because it's either I really agree or I really disagree, or I'm like agreeing and disagreeing at the exact same time because Destiny is something that I've never experienced before.
Well, you're right in saying that it's not something we've experienced before. It's absolutely, totally different from Call of Duty, as in it changes all the time. It develops new metas, and what the best gun is. It's always changing. Every day it's changing. It seems like with every little hot fix or whatever.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at, imagine this: Vault of Glass with level 42 enemies, and those guns drop without a burn, without an elemental damage. What would be the problem in that? That's what I would ask Bungie right now. Why would that be a problem for new players to get into? Like, I understand that they want to. What am I looking for? They want to
refresh us. They don't want us to keep going back to year one, basically.
Yes, there's that, and there's this strange thing that Bungie does that just no other developer does. In Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, you had the BAL 27 and you had the ASM 1.
Yeah, I remember that.
Period. There's no guns that are competing with those two whatsoever. In Black Ops 3, currently you got the Vesper and you got the M8. Those are what people are going to for the most part. You don't see Activision, you don't see Sledgehammer, you don't see Treyarch going in and saying, okay, we don't want to see this gun used, we want to see more of this, so we're going to completely destroy this gun.
Yeah.
That's something Destiny does. That's something Bungie is doing with Destiny. Just because they want to see people use a different kind of gun, they completely destroy something. And I totally understand that, they want us to enjoy the new content, but straight up, why is it there's 3 raids in the game and only one of them is playing?
Yeah.
You should be able to say, hey, Luke, do you want to go do the raid? If I said that to you right now, you automatically think King's Fall. That should not be the case. It should be, which one, Travis? Which one do you want to do?
Exactly. And you saying all that just really brought in a good thought. Like, why can't they just accept the fact that people love guns, and this would make the game better? Why not just have, if you're gonna have the update where guns are now 320 and year one guns are like 170, why not just make everything equal? Why not make everything 320, and then next year, if it's all 420, make every gun 420, and let people use the guns they love. If you're gonna want to keep your people here, if you want to keep your community happy, and the biggest thing people complain about is weapons. What weapons we can use? We can't use this weapon. We want this weapon. We want this weapon back. This is irrelevant. That's irrelevant. It's a simple fix. Let everyone use the weapons from every year. So then look down the line, year 8. I can be like, yeah, this is my year 1 Fatebringer. Oh, that sucks that you weren't playing in year 1 because I have the year 1 version. But then someone else can be like, yeah, well, let's go play the raid and try to get it. Okay, cool. I got my year one favorite
See,
now.
that would be cool, and that's a good idea. And I can totally see from Bungie's standpoint why they wouldn't want that to happen. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to drive home here is the difference between veterans and noobs.
Yeah, and it
Not
sucks.
not to be disrespectful to anybody that's new to Destiny. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the community. But here's the problem. Vault of Glass arguably is one of the best raids. I mean, there's only 3, but it was so awesome and the experience was so awesome. And right now, you can get on the forums and people are having problems getting into that and getting help to complete that raid because none of us veterans have any incentive whatsoever to go back and help those new people.
No one
and
wants
I
to
think
help
that's
them.
that's a huge problem. There should be a reason for me as a year 2 player, a veteran, to go back and help somebody that's brand new to the game and experience what I experienced in year 1.
Exactly. And, you know, it stinks for the new people. And the fact of that Bungie's offering that you can buy this pack and be level 25 immediately. All right, they're basically opting out of you having to do any of their content from year 1. They're like, you know what, it's irrelevant. So here, you can purchase this, or you can, when you buy the game, you get that light thing where you can just go up to 25. Who cares? You know what? You don't need to experience Vault of Glass, the best raid in the game. You don't need to experience Crota and saying, oh, he's going back, and point at him. You get to experience Taken King only. And I think that stinks. And I've already explained my viewpoint on this whole thing, but I do agree with you. New people are completely screwed. And if they expect to continue to get new people, it's not going to be until Destiny 2 comes out and if things are different, you know?
Yeah. With the perception that some of their marketing, some of their sales, don't get me wrong, they do a great job of promoting themselves and getting us hyped for the next piece of DLC. But in the current direction they're going with the we'll tell you when we tell you type of deal, it's going to be an event, it's going to be a surprise. Mm-hmm. I think that does 2 things. First off, it doesn't build any hype. It doesn't bring in new people. It doesn't give us any incentive to prepare for anything like I was preparing for the Taken King and like everybody else was. And the second thing that I think Bungie is doing is sort of letting themselves off the hook. Because in year 1, we practically had all the DLCs mapped out. And people basically knew around the time they should expect it. They didn't never really release dates, but without knowing what's coming and what's to come, Bungie can sort of, push their deadlines. And you know what I mean? There's no hard date that they have to get this content done. They can just do
whenever they want.
Yeah, do it whenever they want. And that's sort of how it feels currently.
And the sad thing is, like, it sucks that they can do it that way, but we're gonna be just as excited when we hear speculation or some sort of leaked rumor saying, yeah, there is gonna be DLC and it's gonna be about this, and I'm just gonna be just as excited, as mad as I am that it is this way. That it's just like, whatever, community, you've done so much, we've done so much, blah blah blah. But you know what? You're just gonna get told whenever we feel like it. It kind of sucks,
Yeah, I totally agree. And while I see that it could be a good thing, it's just hard to deal with and to understand, as the day-to-day average Joe consumer and, person that's passionate for the game. It's concerning, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because Destiny 2, it could be awesome, but what I'm worried about is that promotion isn't going to be enough, that the negative stigma and the lack of content and the constant lag and glitches and just everything all added together is just going to be enough to break people, and that negative word of mouth is what I'm concerned with to people that might come and be new to the Destiny community in year 2 or year 3, I should say.
Yeah, it'd be year 3, or it'll be within year 2, but going into year 3 if it comes out this year. So that brings me to the question of, this is the final question we're going to talk about this evening. What's your predictions for 2016 Destiny content-wise for Destiny? I'll tell you mine first.
Okay.
I think that Destiny 2 will be announced. I don't know if it'll be released this year because, games aren't typically announced and released within the same year, although Fallout 4 was this year. So I can see it from that standpoint, but I think that there's going to be a Destiny. I don't know if it's going to be Destiny 2, but that's just what I'm referring to it as. But I think that there's going to be a full game announced this year, a complete new game. And I also think that there's going to be no DLC. I think it's just going to be these events, like this one that's speculated right now, the Dawning. I think that, or is that what it is, the Dawning or whatever?
Yeah, I think that's what it.
I think it's just going to be stuff like that, like the Festival of the Lost. I think there's just going to be a bunch of little events like that, which I think are cool, but I also think it's kind of like, kind of.
I literally didn't participate in it.
It was kind of like, this is cool because it's changing, but it actually doesn't reward you with anything you actually need other than fake paper helmets.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a nice, fresh look at the tower, but other than that, that's all it was to me.
So I think that there's going to be an announcement of a new game, and there's just going to be events this year. I'm not sure if the game will come out this year. If it does, I think it'll come out around November or December. But if anything, it'll be coming out next spring, depending on what it is. I don't care how long it takes for them to get it out here, honestly. If they need to take their time to make the story a real story in this one, take as much time as you want, Bungie, because whatever the heck happened right before you released this Destiny, please don't let that happen again. I mean, don't fire any script writers. Don't have any lawsuits, please. Just don't even release it if that crap happens before. Actually, bring us something that's completely full, like Rockstar does, for instance. If something's wrong and they know like this is not 100% excellent, they're gonna take it off the actual release date and bring it out later, and it's worked every time for them. So that's my predictions.
That's been great.
That's my predictions.
I'm sort of going to go in two directions here, and it's going to sound cheesy and it's going to be cheap. First off, I'm going to say my hopes.
Okay.
For Destiny 2. My hope is that Destiny 2 is announced and will drop sometime this September.
Okay.
And I think that's what's going to happen. I'll predict that can be a prediction. I do believe it will be announced early March to April.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even as late as May, but I think Destiny 2 will drop in September.
Yeah.
And here is my hope. At Muskingum University, albeit the beautiful and wonderful educational institution that it is, for my senior seminar project, I did something called contrast method, and I researched this. And this is my hope for Destiny, and I hope it works out for them because I feel like they're shoveling poop on us right now, and it's so negative that it doesn't matter what they really do for year 3 with Destiny 2, that it's just going to blow our minds. It's going to be so awesome.
Dude, the fact that it's going to be 60 frames per second, like that's a fact. We know that's speculation, but it's going to be. That's just going to blow our minds at that,
Yes. And while I hope I'm wrong in saying this, that, it'll be better just for the simple fact that this is so bad right now, I hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
But
think about it.
In all honesty, it will be better with minimal improvements.
That's true. And just think, like, they could be, low on us right now. Like, this Bungie could be, like, undercover, not being as involved, not changing as much stuff because they're creating something insanely good right now. Like, this all this, they could be just being like, at the end, like, I'm sorry, but not sorry. Look at this game you're about to get. And this is why the last few months have been the way that they are.
Yeah.
I mean, that could happen. That's speculation. Yeah. That's what I think. So
to extend on the whole contrast method thing, for those of you who don't know, basically in a nutshell, that's me asking Luke, can I have $100? Luke says, Travis, go to heck. You're crazy. I'm not giving you $100. And then I say, Luke, how about $20? It's just $20. All of a sudden, $20 doesn't seem so bad because he's been primed to think about that $100 bill. And that's kind of what I'm getting at with Destiny, and that's the frame of mind I'm talking about. Just to clear that up for those of you who don't know.
Yep. So Destiny. I mean, what a game, Travis. Well, guys, it looks like we're a little bit out of time, so we really appreciate you listening if you made it this far. I hope you did, because this was a fun conversation. I mean, I think this was a lot of fun. This is
Yeah,
what we do it
and
for.
I don't know about you guys, but it feels like we've just started talking, and there's so much more we can talk about in the world of Destiny. I mean, just be sure
So
to
much.
check us out later, because I promise this isn't over.
This isn't over. This is just the beginning of countless gigabytes. I'm going to say gigabytes of talking. So, whoa. We really appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate you guys listening. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to just sit here and talk. Even though I would love to just sit here and talk with Travis and have, like, my mom listen, honestly. But if you want to go ahead, check us out. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Search Clueless Gamers on Facebook. Search Clueless Gamers 2 on Twitter. Tweet at us, like us, favorite us, retweet us, bleep us, whatever you want. And then if you want to watch this, we're going to be on YouTube. Check us out at Clueless Gamers on YouTube. And if you want to listen in your car or whatever, check us out on SoundCloud. Just look up Clueless Gamers and you can listen to this there. You can listen to any of our other podcasts, which are just one right now. But at some point, it'll be like, we'll be on episode 36 and we can have a whole bunch of other episodes to look at. So we're very thankful. If you want to follow us personally, I am Luke Carmichael. You can follow me at Luke Carmichael7 on Twitter. And this is Travis. He can tell you what he is on.
Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Twitter handle is at CrawfordTravis2.
Yep. So we appreciate you guys. We hope you enjoyed. We hope all you Guardians out there have a great, great, great time. And thanks for listening. Luke Carr out.